Who is Typhon in Greek mythology? Typhon is one of the most powerful and terrifying monsters in Greek mythology. He was described as a giant with huge wings, a serpent body and several heads. According to sources, this creature was created by Gaia as an instrument of revenge to end Zeus and his allies. All the gods of Olympus participated in the battle against Monthra, but he was so powerful that they were unable to overpower him. In the end, only Zeus wrested primacy and imprisoned the monster in Tartarus. There are legends that Typhon continues to fight to this day. Every time Etna spews lava and ash, it signals a new attack by the monster. Today it is associated with natural disasters and natural calamities. Typhon, in Greek mythology, a chthonic monster. Mother, Gaia, the progenitor of all living things. Father, Tartarus, the deepest abyss. Wives of Typhon, Echidna, Chimera and Camician. Typhon played an important role in Greek mythology as a symbol of power and destruction. Typhon was a huge monster with 100 arms, dragon wings and serpent features. Ancient Greek mythology is a system of beliefs, stories and symbols that were characteristic of the ancient Greeks. It had a huge influence on the culture and art of Hellas, and characters became famous all over the world. One of the most interesting characters in ancient Greek mythology is Typhon. This monster was created as a threat to Zeus himself, the king of all the gods. He is described as a fire-breathing giant who can throw mountains upside down and make the most powerful sea current change its path. Typhon plays a significant role in the action dynamics of most legends of antiquity. His confrontation with Zeus is often cited as one of the most action-packed episodes in the world of classical deities. The symbolism of Typhon runs deep in the secret philosophy of the extra world, Hyperborea, which was discovered by the ancient Greeks. In this philosophy, the mighty giant is one of the main symbols of the first principle, difficulty. It is the difficulties that lead to growth and development, because only through their overcoming it is possible to reach new heights. The image of Typhon was often used in literature, for example in Homer's epic poems The Iliad and the Odyssey, as well as in the works of the geniuses of classical world literature, such as Phaedra and Midas. The giant's parents were Gaia and Tartarus. According to sources, the god Typhon had several wives. Echidna, a serpentine monstrosity with a female body. Camician, a fire-breathing dragon. Chimera, existing half of a goat, a monstrous animal. In general, the image of Typhon plays a significant role in Greek mythology. He symbolizes a threat to the entire divine pantheon, which must become united in the face of this terrible creature. His image continues to fascinate people around the world, and his influence on culture and art has not waned over time. What the Typhon looks like and the birth of the Typhon. Typhon is one of the most fearsome and powerful monsters of Greek mythology. He was considered the god of thunderstorms, winds and mountains, had great power and was able to destroy everything in his path. According to legends, this creature was spawned by Gaia, the mother of all gods and goddesses. He was a giant with huge wings and a long tail, had numerous animal heads, including a snake, a lion and a goat. Another version connects the origin of Typhon with the battle of Zeus against the Titans. After the victory, the supreme Olympian threw their bones into Etna and from them was born a giant. One of the creature's appearances. In any case, the mythological Typhon was a monster of unusual form for the ancient Greeks. In his appearance, you can see elements of various animals, which made him even more frightening. His wings symbolized his ability to fly, and his tail symbolized danger to those who got in his way. The creature also had several pairs of hands, each ending in claws instead of fingers. Interesting to know. Typhon was a monster so terrifying and powerful that even the most powerful deities of Greece feared its power. Typhon played an important role in Greek mythology as a symbol of power and destruction. His battle with Zeus, which is considered one of the most epic scenes of Greek mythology, epitomized the struggle between chaos and order, and showed that even the most horrible creatures are weaker before the majestic gods of Olympus. Myth of Typhon. The ancient Greek myth of Typhon is one of the most interesting and memorable. Typhon was a giant creature that was spawned from the earth of Gaia and the god of the underworld kingdom of Tartarus. He was a huge monster with 100 arms, dragon wings, and serpent features. In his lust for power, the monster began a rebellion against the Olympian gods, endowed with all sorts of powers: Zeus, Poseidon, Hera, and others. Zeus and Heracles realized that even they could not defeat Typhon in direct combat. So they used trickery. Zeus covered himself with an Amalthea, clay statue, while Heracles pretended to be a servant of the Lernaean chimera and convinced the creature to seek him out on the sacred mountain of the gods. When the monster arrived on Olympus, Zeus revealed to him his spell, which caused all airborne objects to finally collapse. Thus it became clear how to kill Typhon. The battle was brutal and lasted several days, but in the end the gods managed to defeat the giant thanks to the help of Hermes and Dionysus. According to one version, after the defeat of the Titan, Typhon was thrown to the bottom of Etna or Vesuvius, a mountain in Italy, where he was bound with chains underground. Other sources say that Zeus set the giant free on the condition that he would not rebel against him and the other gods again. Interesting to know. The myth of Typhon is deeply symbolic and reflects both the ancient Greek worldview and philosophical beliefs. In particular, it emphasizes the fact that human attempts to achieve divine power necessarily end in defeat. Furthermore, the myth of Zeus and Typhon exemplifies how physical superiority and power must be utilized with intelligence and reason. The Olympian not only defeated the giant through his strength, but also used his intelligence in his decision-making. Incidentally, Echidna and Typhon left numerous creature spawns: Lernaean Hydra, Orpheus, Cerberus, etc. Incarnation in culture. The monster Typhon was a popular character in literature, painting and sculpture. His image is found in many creators not only in antiquity, but also in modern times. Cinematography. The image of the ancient Greek Typhon is one of the most popular and fascinating motifs in cinema and theater. It can be found in the 1981 movie Clash of the Titans, directed by Desmond Davis. Here Typhon was presented as a colossal bipedal beast with sharp fangs, capable of striking his enemies with fireballs. A distinctive feature of this image is the gray color of the monster with spotted shades. In a newer version of the movie from director Louis Leterrier, the monster had elephant-like tusks, a wide bony skull and a long tail with spikes. In the work, the monster was presented as an actual multi-armed giant creature. Who is Typhon? Video reviews. Typhon, Echidna and their offspring. Ancient Greek monsters. Typhon and Echidna in mythology. Chthonic creatures of ancient Greece. Typhon can also be found in various plays. One of the most memorable is Isaac Butterfield's Prometheus, staged in 2018. Despite the fact that each director creates their own unique image of the monster, one thing remains constant. It is always one of the most powerful and epic monsters of antiquity. Strong, cruel and indomitable, such a monster continues to fascinate its viewers around the world. Literature. Monsters and monsters have always been an integral part of the mythology of different cultures. In Greek mythology, one of the most terrifying creatures was Typhon, a character created to destroy all the gods of Olympus. His image still terrifies people and inspires writers. Typhon in Greek mythology, in which authors is found: Hesiod, Aeschylus, Virgil, Pseudo-Apollodorus, etc. The image of Typhon is still alive in modern literature and movies. For example, in the Harry Potter film series, the main villain Voldemort used the creature's name as a code word for his personal spell. Also, in the God of War game, the character Kratos must fight the monster. Typhon is not just a mythical monster, but a symbol of evil and destruction. His image inspires authors to create new works that continue to live in our imagination. Painting. In art, Typhon is usually depicted as a strong and gigantic monster with huge wings and many serpent tails. The most memorable pictorial interpretation of the monster's image is associated with the works of Francisco de Goya. In a series of sharp engravings called Catastrophic Row, the artist presented Typhon not only as a rampaging monster, but also as various cataclysms occurring in the world. Besides de Goya, many other artists also used the image of the monster in their works. For example, Peter Paul Rubens depicted him as a giant creature with a snake tail and huge paws, and El Greco created a number of paintings depicting Typhon as a monster with a human face and bird wings. Tattoo. As a rule, the tattoo of the Typhon represents the monster with all its characteristic features. Huge head with a wide mouth. Fanged teeth. Scary eyes. Wings. Tail. These elements create a unique image, which for many is both threatening and attractive. People choose Typhon tattoos to express their individuality or to convey their desire to enslave the world around them due to the previously mentioned symbolism of the monster. Some like to use his image to create interesting compositions using other elements, such as flora or fauna. Interesting to know. If you decide to tattoo the monster Typhon, you should contact an experienced master tattoo artist who will be able to recreate his image in reality. The specialist should provide a sketch of the future tattoo and explain all the details of how it will be produced. One of the most frightening creatures in Greek mythology was Typhon. According to legend, he had the appearance of a huge humanoid creature with snake-like legs instead of feet, dragon wings and fire breath. The creature's head was surrounded by 100 snakes and his body was covered with lion skin.